Hello?
Hi, I have something important to tell you.
What is it?
I'm giving up.
Oh, congratulations! Oh, for a second I thought you were about to say you're a fag.
So it's been a while. Thank God your baseline with me is disappointment, or else you guys would be pissed. If you're not caught up by now, my only purpose in this world is to trigger your abandonment issues so you can see the need for self-value. How about thanking me next time, you ungrateful sub? Me and Ricky Rat, competitor to Chuck E. Cheese, is back in my mental— Ricky! We're back in my mental hospital room because I got knocked up. Fuck off, Ricky. Yeah, who would have guessed? I'm straight. No! No worries, I'm still skinny, unlike you. My video will be taken down for saying triggering words, so unfortunately I do kind of have to censor myself here, but don't worry, you know me. I know how to work my magic or whatever. Anyways, let's get— Hey, I just came back. Take it easy, take it easy. Better. Hello, you've clicked on this video by accident, and to that I say I'm so sorry my fat video got in your way. But if you clicked on this intentionally, I already know you're on more than one spectrum. This is the part where I call you this many slurs. Did you feel it? I called you a fruit and a vegetable. Are you feeling stuck, unfulfilled? No goals or aspirations. Let me guess. You chased after your dream, but the pursuit became a nightmare. Just like that, passion's gone. Give up! Save yourself from future disappointment. Give up! Give up! Give up! Give up! I'm sorry. Some of you might be new here and not used to abuse, which is a shame because I can't stand pansies. But to my reoccurring viewers, what the f were you guys doing instead of worshiping me and promoting my shit to all your friends and family like it's your ancestral gonorrhea? You guys, how are you this worthless? Oh, you want me to stop being a big meanie? Oh, well, if I could lose this attitude, you could lose 15 pounds, but I guess two things aren't happening, buckaroo, and scene. I hope you enjoyed that imitation of what having a father is like. This is the most important video I'll put out to date because I'll be talking about things that I've been avoiding talking about for years due to me being scared of losing everything. But you know me. I'm unoriginal. It's already been done. I already lost everything. And nothing is scarier than a mentally ill hag that has nothing to lose. So here's my story and a very long YouTube video on why I think the answer to your existential crisis is to give up. And do not fear. Because I love you, I know that your IQ is suffering like your intestines. So I tried making this video easy to digest, Miss IBS. There are 6 parts to giving up, and each part has something to do with why I decided to stop doing YouTube as a whole. Also, these 6 parts should help you realize that you're a dud. I hope this helps anyone out there who is currently struggling. Or not. Sorry, I don't really care what happens to ugly people. But anyways, here we go! Where am I? Where the fuck am I going? Stuck. The first part to giving up is feeling stuck. Can the person that has my voodoo doll please find me? I'm lost. You're directionless. Your days stay the same. You get triggered when someone asks you what you do. Welcome to the club, buddy. You're a failure. When you're stuck, it feels like you have no purpose in life, which is technically true because most people that feel trapped don't end up doing anything about it. Oh, I know. I'm super motivational. Here's the current count of people who have self-slaughtered watching this. You just see people around you doing better than you with a path. You even low-key start to get jealous of the handicapped Walmart employee. Like, damn, that person can't even walk, but shit was my excuse. Most people just give up once they realize they're directionless, and in return, they end up being mindless NPCs who are just numb to existing.
Nice.
I was one of those people. But do you really think I gave a shit about why I was stuck? No. Because I was just trying not to be a part of this count. I did absolutely nothing to find my path in life, and I thought being self-aware that I was a directionless loser was enough. I used to be like, I'm depressed with no passions. You know what I'm gonna do about it? Nothing. Because at least I know I'm a failure, and that's enough. How the hell did I used to sound like that naturally? Oh! And here's where everyone, including me, went wrong. You're supposed to give up. That dumbass mindset! You are still surviving. So no, you didn't give up. Yeah! Giving up would literally mean that. You've just decided that your identity is passive. That doesn't sound like giving up to me. You're actively doing nothing. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. Me and depression go way back. We used to be like this. I hate that I'm fat, that I'm sad, that I'm crying. Hate that I won't live past 25. I am trying.
Is that what trying looks like, your chicken cutlet? I see that you are unseasoned looking. It's so obvious you moisturize using a glizzy, you grimy ass dog.
Feels like I'm dying, feels like I'll just tie it. I'm tired of sighing, I can't lie. I'm not doing fine.
Bitch, we thought you were fine. No one thought that. You make it very clear that you're mentally ill and ugly. You check out of both fines. How are you not fine and not fine?
Someone tell me to look at the lilies. Please take me out of my misery. I was trying my hardest to do stuff, but I couldn't do anything, and that's depression. On the flip side, because I succumbed to my depression, I ended up being stuck for 7 years. Yes, 7. Almost a decade. A whole ass kid was raised during that time. My I was passively watching my life go by instead of actively trying to control it. It's not fair that depression did that to me. Did that to me? Why do I sound like such a fucking toddler? It's not fair that depression did that to me, but what was I supposed to do? Just keep trying so I could keep failing? Yes! Because the time was going to pass anyways. Being afraid of failing is keeping you stuck because failing is a sign that you should just keep working on that thing to get better at it, or something better is out there for you, but you would never know because you won't try. Bro, I literally went to college, like big boy school, and I don't like what I chose to do. Does that mean I'm doomed for life? No. It just means that I'm going to be broke for a little bit longer. I'm just kidding. Well,
she has autism.
No, I'm not doomed for life, but at least now I know that this is something I don't want to pursue. I'm not back to square one. I can check that out of the list. Yeah, it's a headache having to choose the wrong path, but at least I chose for myself. Some of you bitches are waiting for life to choose for you, and let me tell you, it ain't gonna be pretty. Okay, so let's recap. You're feeling stuck. You're directionless. You haven't given up, idiot. So what are we gonna do about it? We need to figure out what's causing you to be stuck, and let me guess. Oh, I don't know, Sabrina, that's why I'm here. Being stuck means you're unfulfilled, but you won't do anything to get yourself out of feeling stuck. So we need to recognize what is stopping you from trying. Ding! Your need for validation. Ding! Your fear of failure. Ding! Or your chase for perfection. Sorry. I gotta make the sound effects now because we're kind of in a budget. Now that we recognize this, we have to figure out what is something that is causing you to want validation from others. What is something that's stopping you from facing your fears? What is something that makes you feel like you have to be perfect because you're constantly comparing yourself to others? What is that something? Oh, right, it's being online. The second part to giving up is online. Being online is helping you stay stuck, and it's furthering you away from what we're trying to do, which is give up. Everyone has gotten that same lame lecture on how social media is worse than your mom spitting on you to wake you up for school. Sorry, is that too relatable? Look, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but social media is absolutely perfect for anybody that wants to be humbled, which, let's be honest, what do you need to be humbled for? I can see through your teeth from here. Just because you're transparent on Twitter or X doesn't mean your teeth have to match your freak. Here we go, love. There's some pronamel in this. Notice how it's empty? Whoa. Every time I get on social media, I want to twist my neck like a prescription bottle, which is something everyone needs. Vamonos, let's help each other get medicated instead of cremated, okay? Being on TikTok is the equivalent to being in a mental hospital. Everyone is wearing trampoline park socks and thinks they're unique because of it. It's like no one wants to be happy because it's not relatable, but at the same time, when you're at the lowest point of your life, you open up Instagram and boom! Happy people. Everywhere. And then you end up seeing that your ex bought a house with the person he cheated on you with. Meanwhile, you're here wondering if your credit score being low is a good thing because you're playing life like golf. And I'm supposed to believe in karma? Get out of my face! Social media isn't the devil. It just creates one. The true culprit is people comparing themselves to others. And that's what really keeps you in your perfectionist era. And that will keep us trapped in not wanting to try because it's embarrassing to fail. But embarrassing to fail stems from the need of validation from others. Because seriously, why do you care if you mess up? Baby, you're embarrassing now. Like, I'm sorry, but we're laughing at you. We're all laughing at you. And you're telling me you gave up?
Honey.
If you truly gave up, you would have been done with the internet. You would have stopped giving a fuck about what people thought about you. You would have started to try because you would have stopped caring if things were perfect. But look, you're still here. You didn't give up on any of those things. And that's why you're beyond redemption. So let's solve this problem. Ugh. You just need to get to the point where being online doesn't equate to your brain rotting. And that starts by recognizing why you're even comparing yourself to others. I need you guys to understand that we are surrounded by miserable people. Get this through your bowling ball heads. A majority of people are miserable, but they're cosplaying as the happy. I used to link my behind the scenes to everyone's highlights, and it made life so unenjoyable for me. But seriously, who is posting their failures online besides for me? Everyone is obviously going to show off their accomplishments, but I didn't think like that. I just saw that everyone has their life together. Nobody is miserable because nobody told their followers that. So not only do you emotionally feel behind, but now you socially feel behind. You realize you don't get the likes, you don't get the views, you don't get the reposts. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You don't got the numbers. You have the crippling need for your numbers to be high, whether that's like count, view count, subscriber count, follower count, it doesn't matter. You just start to feel insecure when you're not hitting the numbers. Hit that! And I get it, I do. A lot of people feel validated by their likes. They wonder why this picture did so well, but this one didn't. Is it because you were sexy in this one and ugly in that one? And the answer is yes. Yes, you were. You were hideous in that picture, and that's why everyone ignored it. Show me some ass! What happened to bulges? Is that what you want to hear, you insecure bitch? Motherfucker, you saying you got shadow banned by Instagram? And you got 600 followers? Bro, Instagram ain't even looking in your direction. Just accept that you're ugly. But embarrassingly, I understand you people. Oh! Oh, it hurts me to relate to the poor. I used to really hold on to the belief that numbers equated to my worth, which is a shame because that's essentially why my love for YouTube withered away. I felt embarrassed when my views were declining, but the gaggiest brag is my views were still high. They were just not as high as what they once were, and I assumed my colleagues and people that watched me were making fun of me for falling into irrelevancy, and they were. Oh boy, were they. But I shouldn't have cared so much because at the end of the day, they got canceled. So, the world low-key is kind of my hitman. When I was peak insecure online, do you realize how shitty it was when you found a creator you really enjoyed and your curiosity hit you? Now coming up is my favorite piece from my bathroom, which is the signed picture of Junie Cortez from Spy Kids. This person is so funny. I wonder who she is. She's 16 years old with 4 million followers in a mansion. Even when I knew I should stop comparing myself to others, it didn't stop me from feeling like shit when a YouTube video of mine didn't do as well as I wanted it to. I used to see these numbers as a tool to how much I was going to be nice to myself that day. Like, am I gonna use this today or this today? I get that you feel that numbers equates to how important you are, but you need to give up on that mindset or else you're going to continue to stay stuck. You only being retweeted or reposted twice doesn't mean you're uninteresting. You're really interesting to those 2 bots that retweeted you. Only getting 40 likes on Instagram doesn't mean everyone thinks you're ugly. It's just me that thinks that. Getting views is easier for that person than you, not because you're boring, but because you're not a minor and PDF files aren't interested in you. From experience, be grateful that isn't you. So what are we to do? Give up being online, are you not listening? And again, we don't need to be a drama queen here, you don't need to go monk mode, but you need to understand that being online is just a way to connect to people, not to compare to people. Listen, I might have been relatable to you guys in the past, but the person I am today though, is simply built different because I don't give a f about the numbers anymore. If 100 people watch this or if 1 person watches this, I don't care because I'm like a little secret to you guys. Oh, how sexy is that? Like a little homewrecker. Oh my God, subscribe quickly before she walks in on us. I've stopped equating views as value and started seeing the view of myself as the only valuable thing in my life. I should be a poet because I'm quick. I'm quick! Papi is here to show you what life is like when you stop being like everyone else and addicted to your phone. Yeah, I know that hit a nerve with you. You think dyeing your hair pink and getting a tongue piercing made you different? Nope. You like everybody else. Everybody point and laugh. So with that, we have identified that living your life or living in the moment is your ticket to getting offline, which is what we need. You have to start living in the present. You have to start living in the moment. Now. 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 Now! 1, 2, 3, get up now! Yo, shut up! I'm too busy thinking about the past and how my future is doomed because of it. Our future is doomed because you're thinking about the past. I just want you to become so engulfed in your own successes that... Why are you laughing? Engulfed these nuts. Got him. I'm trying to be nicer, but this is really difficult when you won't even try. Like, duh, of course I was gonna get as a child. I was cute. Oh my God, that's really our first thought in the morning? Are you okay? Yeah. Life is so shitty. Why did I ever expect a good future for myself? I get you. I really do, but we can't be so shitty to ourselves. Feels like my dreams are fading from me, but that's okay, 'cause it stopped me from feeling shitty, 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 shitty. I feel like I'm dead, but with that being said, breathing was hard for me anyways. Can't stop feeling shitty. I can't stop feeling shitty. Are you done? Yeah. Who are you anyways? I'm you, I think. Oh, so I'm fucking insane! Oh my God, I want to die! I am sweating up a storm here, bro. I probably smell like cooked burrito. Ah! The next step to giving up is living. I want you to look around your room right now and find all the things that are yellow. And please tell me you have more yellow things that aren't just the piss bottles. Okay, so without looking, tell me everything that was red. Yes, red. And no, your arms don't count, Edward Scissorhands. The point of that was to waste your fucking time. But guess what? You just lived in the moment. Unless you didn't participate in that exercise, which isn't surprising to me, Slan sisters. Okay, if you really wanted a lesson out of that, I wrote it down. When you put your focus on something, you'll actively look for those things even when you didn't notice it before. Basically, when you look for something positive to happen, you'll get something positive. Look for the negative, you'll get negative. Duh. To be living is essentially putting your focus on what's happening right now and to be grateful for it. I took a walk at a local park. Yeah, I touched some grass. I made it. Although I ended up having severe allergies, I ended up seeing a beagle, and that stupid loud thing made my day better because I lost my beagle to heart failure, and I know, I don't want to hear it. Ironic that I would lose my dog to something that I lack and the other thing that I am. If I had never decided to leave my phone alone and go live my life and leave my room, I would have never had to sob over the fact that I don't have my dog anymore. Yeah, this shit rocks. When you go live your life, the more experience you get. The more experience you have, the wiser you become. And wisdom makes life easier to navigate. But how? How do we begin to live? Well, for me, it's acknowledging that this shit hurts me and I'm taking them off now. How are we supposed to be in the present? What's stopping us from feeling the gift of life in this very moment? The past, the future, and being ungrateful. Living in the future is anxiety, living in the past is depression, so the only way to live is in the present. It's literally in the word present. It's your gift to live your life right now, and you should be grateful for it. Having gratitude towards every experience will help you live in the moment, and you won't even worry about the concept of time. But that's obviously easier said than done when your circumstances are worn out cow tits. Well, at least I have a degree. Okay, won't work. At least I have family. Okay. Well, at least I have cool friends. Not them too. Well, at least I have money. God damn it. Well, at least I have this car. I have a really tough pill for you guys to swallow, and it might offend some people. And honestly, I hope it does. If you get offended for what I'm about to say, then I'm talking to you especially. If you're not actively trying to change your present into being more enjoyable, and you have every excuse in the world to why you can't live your life, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. You don't have to worry about your future anymore, sweetie, because it's going to look exactly what it looks like now. You wanna say how you gave up, but look at you, you're still here. Oh! Consider me gagged! Living is so difficult when you constantly make the excuse to why it has to stay miserable. But Sabrina, my past sucked, so now my present sucks, so now I'm doomed for a sucky future. How is that my fault? No, I'm gonna need you back. I'm gonna need you back.
I'm joking. Stop!
Because you're not doing anything about it!
The brake, stop!
You haven't given up on the idea that life can get better for you. I, of course, will acknowledge that some of you guys are living traumatic lives as we speak, and I ain't even going to lie to you, that's going to be really tough for you to get through. The other half of you went through something traumatic in your past, and you've got bitches in your ear telling you to just let go. But those bitches don't understand that trauma literally rewires your brain. It is so difficult to be grateful when you feel like you have nothing or nothing left of yourself. So the thing stopping us from living our life is being ungrateful, and being ungrateful stems from trauma. And it does. I have 2 Hispanic parents. Any negative emotion I felt, even if it was healthy for me to feel it, they would get mad at me and just tell me to be grateful. And they would only say that just to shut my emotional needs up. And I bet a lot of you guys are on the same boat. It's the equivalent of being told that someone has it worse than you. But oh, now I'm the bad guy if I say I hope it gets even worse for them. Bitch, someone has it better than you, but I'm not constantly trying to put your happiness down. Shut up. Trust me, I know how the being grateful advice feels very victim blamey and negative, but unfortunately, it is the way. Problem is, there is something in the way of you being grateful. And what is that? What is that thing that we have to face right now in order to live our life? We have to face the trauma. And yes, I thought being self-aware about my traumatic past was enough because I felt it was really unfair that I had to help myself heal when somebody traumatized me. I understand that mindset, and I have sympathy for my past self, but here's our future. Nothing's changed. It's been 7 years, almost 8, And I have completely been stuck in the same place. My youth, where I'm supposed to be having fun and living life, I spent indoors crying and hurting myself. She was supposed to be in the clubs! And again, I don't blame myself. Okay, coming to terms with everything was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But having to come to terms that it's my responsibility to heal something that someone else did to me, now that really fucked me up. You can't change the past, you can't predict the future, but you could ruin your present by worrying about both. This is now the time to face the trauma, and I can't speak on yours, but I can speak on mine. Alright, I'm gonna take these off. Welcome to the 4th section of giving up. Acknowledge. I'm so directionless. Where do I go from here? I don't know. Send me a sign. Tell me why. I don't know. This next part is discussing a lot of triggering things about what YouTube was like for me. I'll be showing videos / recordings that I've collected throughout the years of my feelings towards my traumas. You can skip to this part if you don't want to hear the trauma dump. I don't even know how to begin this section. I know I don't have to say anything about my traumas, but again, this could help somebody. So why not? I guess I'll start out by saying that I'm proud that I'm finally facing the past. I had people that blackmailed me to try to stop me from making this video. I got warnings from other people that if I tried to make this video that they would come after me. And to that I have to say, sit and spin on it, bitch. I won't say their names because I'm not here to drag people. I understand fully that the best revenge is just to live my life and never speak on them again. The real reason I gave up with YouTube was because of the trauma it gave me. A lot of the problems I hold now is the fact that if I'd never made my last YouTube channel, which was Les Stachette, then most of my traumas wouldn't even be a thing. I started doing YouTube as a minor, so you can only imagine how that went. Even when I became an adult, I was so naive and innocent despite what you saw from Les Stachette. I mean, before I privated them, my older videos was of me being really, really innocent and very, very cringe. Intro. This is the intro. Hello, welcome to my channel. Who wants to hear a song? No one, cause nobody cares. But oh well, I'm still gonna sing it to you. Hello Kitty Mafia must! I was heavily age regressed, and that's pretty embarrassing because that lasted for a while. I acknowledge that I basically was a teenage girl / young adult with the mind of an 11-year-old, and that made me a very easy target to bad people. And it's such a shame that I became too scared to do YouTube because before the trauma, YouTube was my pride and joy. It's so freaking shocking how fast my mood can change when I'm doing something I love. I love you stashes so much. And I don't know if you guys will ever hear this. I like being on camera. It makes me feel better. Even though I am disgusting looking. Hopefully one day I'll achieve my dream. My dream is honestly just to be a YouTube star. All I ever wanted as a kid was to become famous because I felt like it was my ticket out of being invisible and insecure. If I had just become famous, it would have proved to the world that it would have been worth it to pay attention to me and that my suffering was worth something. I was never famous, but I did have more eyes on me than the average person at one point. Even when I did started getting recognition, it wasn't enough. I was still depressed.
I want to get rid of myself. I cause so much pain to so many people. No matter what, I can't be happy. I try to get myself out there to be happy, but I just can't. I don't care about anything anymore. I don't see myself having a future. No matter what I do, I can accomplish so many goals in my life, and I still feel like a piece of shit.
Nothing would ever be enough for me. No matter what I accomplished, I would never be satisfied. Nothing would make me happy. So of course, acknowledging that, I went into a deep spiral. Because of YouTube, I learned about the lack of empathy other content creators have for victims when the abuser is their friend. Even worse, when the abuser gives them more views/money than the victim. Because of YouTube, I would have never been harassed. At that point in my life, I'm depressed, I'm heartbroken, I'm losing all my YouTube friends, my views are depleting. I'm actively looking for a good sign, and I thought I found that when someone from my class recognized me from one of my videos. I truly believed that he was like an angel sent to me, and in that very same day, I was proven wrong. I never told the public what I'm about to say because I was in so much denial about it. I was running away from it for a very long time, but because of YouTube, I was I'm sorry. My innocence and hope died that day. After that, you can kind of tell when my content became more provocative because it was a trauma response. I got into I ran into the cops a lot. I couldn't take someone touching me without freaking out on them. That wasn't even the final nail in the coffin. What really did it for me was I would have never been if it wasn't for YouTube. That person was just a viewer that watched me, and I ended up being under his grasp for many years, and I was very petrified to leave. I put a lot of blame on myself because he coerced me into doing things that I would have never done if I was in a better state of mind. He had me believing that if I continued doing it, it would be like exposure therapy to a childhood wound that I had. I'm sorry. He was telling me that he was going to help me, and all he did was traumatize me.
I hope you a very gruesome for taking advantage of me. I hate you. You said those would help my little girl self wanted to be healed, and you took advantage of that. I hate you. I hope you
And that's what evil people do. They look for people in horrible circumstances because the abusers know that that person would be so vulnerable and easy to manipulate. Coercion isn't consent in any context, and it took me a long time to come to terms with that because I felt so stupid for falling for all of his tricks. I went through all of that just because of some dude that became obsessed with me from YouTube. After that incident, I just became a shell of who I used to be, and I was unrecognizable, honestly, up until probably the beginning of this year. I was way too afraid to come back here. And even now it's a little intimidating because all YouTube has taught me was that no matter what, somebody is out to get me. Why would anybody want to come back after that? I ran away from all of this for a very long time, and it built up terribly. And with that, I have to acknowledge that it made me a bad person too. I didn't feel real, and the real parts of me I resented because as I was spiraling down, I was taking everyone down with me, even if that wasn't my intention. But intention doesn't cancel out impact, and I understand that now. My feelings were valid, but my behavior wasn't, and I want to tell those people that I may have affected back then that I am so sorry. I should have never been posting about how I was going to off myself or alluding to that in conversations. I wanted my inner turmoil to be met with love. I just wanted to be seen and heard, but I went about it all wrong. And I'm sorry to anyone that I put in an uncomfortable situation. I hope you guys are doing good now. Alright, I think my trauma dump is over now. I don't want to continue this being all sad and shit. I don't like crying. I hope you take the time to acknowledge your traumas because we're trying to give up, remember? Being a victim isn't wrong. It's always going to be unfortunate and unfair that we had to go through that. but victimhood is still a choice. I made the choice that because I was a victim, that I had to settle for the shitty life I was living. No! No, 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 no. It should have been because I'm a victim, I'm going to fight to live the life I deserve. Because my abusers don't deserve a better life than me. Live out of spite, I don't care. I need you to give up in believing that you deserved the trauma that you got. But I also need you to quit that victim mentality, man, and acknowledge your wrongdoings to others and yourself. But how? How do we recognize that we didn't deserve what happened to us? How do we realize that we are worthy of a good life even if we have harmed in the past? You have to have some compassion and forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself.
Yourself.
Fuck everybody else. You gotta forgive yourself. I don't care if it's cringe. You're still a fucking bitch. So please forgive yourself.
The second to last step to giving up is compassion. Let's bring this back out, baby! Are you happy that things aren't heavy anymore? You shouldn't be. Look in the mirror. After you've acknowledged your trauma head on, it's not over for you. You're still cooked. I know, I wish it was as easy as, yeah, that happened to me. I'm good now. You gotta give up in believing that you deserve a bad life and have some compassion for yourself and others, or else you'll never be able to heal. This is the section that takes a bit more time because you have to actively do this forever. So most people stop trying here because being a flop is easier in the short term.
Everybody do the flop!
When you start the journey of rewiring your brain and regulating your nervous system, it's going to feel like things are getting worse. Your attention to the wound shows that there's work that needs to be done, other than just your lips and nose. But you can't let the fact that healing is hard discourage you. To use myself as an example, I felt fucking stupid that I fell into every single trap those abusers put me in. I kept thinking that the way this was happening to me wouldn't happen to anybody else because no one is as dumb as me for falling for all of this. It was very taxing to show myself any grace during that time, but essentially me showing myself no compassion is what had me directionless for years. I will warn you though, it's going to be a lot harder to give yourself compassion and forgive yourself if you have harmed in the past. What I've learned from my own journey is that victims become imperfect victims due to surviving vile things that became a new normal to them. If you're going to live forever in the guilt that you deserve every bad thing that happens to you, then it's going to be easier for you to fall back into being a hurtful person. What you did was a response to your own trauma. It doesn't excuse it, but it explains it. You gotta think, you deserve to forgive yourself as long as you would do whatever it takes to not make the same mistake again. Now, a lot of you guys are going to mistake in this part as me alluding to you forgiving the bad people in your life, and to that I say, hell no, some people don't deserve forgiveness, but that's another video. What we need to understand is that forgiving means to move on without resentment. But why would we want to do that? Because most of the time, the bad people in your life don't care that they hurt you. So why give them that power over you? I view forgiving like those bitches off in your head. In your head. Unless they are to you. Okay? But if you do want to actively forgive someone because you want to rebuild a relationship with them for whatever reason, good on you. But I will say, you're gonna need a lot of compassion, and that ain't gonna be easy. Being unhealed doesn't excuse the many vile things people do to you, but the process of healing is looking at traumas a bit more differently than an unhealed version of yourself. I think with unhealed adults, they ignore their inner child the way adults in their childhood ignored their needs. In return, that kid becomes an adult with built-up frustrations, and the cycle of hurt continues. Even when people don't mean to hurt, it's most likely that if you are unhealed, you are unintentionally hurting people and you might not even be self-aware of it. But also identifying that even if I love someone else's neglected inner child, that ain't my kid. And again, this in no way is excusing the many horrible things that people will do to you or have done to you. It's not fair and it will never be fair, but for me, it opened my eyes to what I should be doing. The most emotionally mature people take care of their inner child like it's their own. They become the support they know they deserved while being traumatized, and thus they heal the cycle of abuse. But that's the thing. You have to have enough compassion for yourself to recognize that you deserve that love and support as well. Personally, I can't forgive people that caused me PTSD. I don't know how to forgive people that aren't even apologetic for what they did to me, but I will choose to be better, even to them, and that's true compassion for myself. All right, so now that we've acknowledged that we need true compassion for how we lived our lives, it feels like this should have been the last step to giving up. But your dumbass hasn't given up yet. You think I wouldn't notice? How stupid do you think I am? Why are you not giving up on the lie that you deserve only a bad life? Why are you holding on to that like it's truth? Something is stopping you from giving yourself that compassion, but what is it? What is that thing? What is the thing you need to let go of?
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
You need to let go of that ego. And finally, the last step to giving up is ego. For you to have compassion, you need to get rid of that ego of yours. But what exactly is ego? Isn't it just self-esteem? Oh, cheddar cheese, if you actually believe that, you're screwed. Ego is external and driven by the power of wanting to prove yourself, while self-esteem is a little bit more demure. Self-esteem is internal and comes from the desire to express yourself. What am I doing? Your ego is the thing that stands in the way of your success because it hinders your progress and blinds you from your weaknesses. What you need to stop doing is being so comfortable in being complacent, but your ego is keeping you there because it thinks it's keeping you safe. Ego is in need of approval. It sets very easy goals so you could feel good about yourself. Or it sets extreme goals so when you obviously don't accomplish them, your ego can say, oh, well, we weren't supposed to achieve that anyways. Self-esteem will give you challenges that will stretch you, not stress you. In nerd terms, the ego is essentially when Anakin became Skywalker. Wait, no, that's not right. I thought I ate that. The ego is essentially when Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader.
Oh my god.
That's wrong too. It's what's his Darth Vader. Do you see what happens when I try to relate to you dorks? My ego has a name and its name is Les Dachette because that's the worst version of myself. I was so attached to my ego. I couldn't get rid of it. I thought my ego was protecting me from hurt, but little did I know it was actually leading me to the path of hurt. Ow. Where am I? Remember me? It's you. Yeah. I thought I got rid of you. Oh, you can't get rid of me. Get it through your head. You can't get rid of me, baby. Oh, you're not even holding a gun. Holy shit! I couldn't run away from my ego. This hoe was everywhere, and every decision I made and every feeling I felt, she was in full control of it. It made me impulsive. It made me feel like because I was a victim that there's no way I've ever hurt anyone. I took no accountability. It stopped me from being grateful because I wanted more. I hated everything with my full heart. I took everything personally. Nothing was enough. I hated myself, and I couldn't get rid of her because I thought if I did, then I would have no purpose anymore. But I'm not that person anymore. I'm the best version of you. I'm the version people fell in love with, not you. You're just a dirty old imposter. Surrender yourself. Surrender yourself. Surrender. Surrender. I don't do whatever my ego wants, and it's time for me to let go. I'm not gonna take this anymore. must ask you a question, but I'll save it for later. I must ask you a question, but I'll save it for later. I just meant I was moving on. I didn't mean to.
Well, easier to get over, I guess.
Dairy Queen closes in 10 minutes. Yo, can you give me a truffle blizzard? Thanks. Letting go of the ego doesn't mean to get rid of it. You just learn how to act despite of it. Your ego can be used as a tool to help you become a better person. You end up not acting upon your feelings and thus bettering yourself. YouTube was who I was. I was nothing without it. So I thought. I love making content. This is truly what I'm supposed to do. Whether it's for a living or just for as a hobby, I don't give a fuck. I'm meant to do this in some capacity. But it's not my entire identity anymore. Who I am is a very spontaneous person who looks for experiences, so I have stories to tell. Basically, I'm fucking cool. I'm completely detached from the external things that make up my identity, and I'm all about the internal things that make up me. Letting go of the ego is the art of enjoying things while being okay with the possibility of losing it one day, because the good feelings are coming from within you, not from what the feelings of external things are giving you. I don't care to be famous. I don't care if people see me. I see me. That's enough for me. I'm not just the main character of my story. I'm the director as well. Shit, I'm basically obsessed with myself. I'm my own favorite character. I'm one of those people that if you FaceTime me, I will click on my face to make the view bigger. At that point, I'm basically FaceTiming myself. I understand now that I'm just experiencing things and nothing belongs to me. And with letting go of my ego, I am now able to heal. But you have to do one more thing before letting your ego go, or else it's gonna come back with vengeance. You have to stop villainizing it and recognize it comes from a lack of self-esteem. If your self-esteem is low, your ego is going to be high. And if your self-esteem is low, that means you think no version of yourself deserves love, which is a shame. You need to talk to your ego with compassion and acknowledge that it's been stopping you from living your life and in return making you feel stuck. You like that full circle moment? You like that shit? This experience is unique to all of us, so I can't speak for your own ego, but I can speak to mine with accountability and love. Dear Les Dashat, I have resented you for a while now. I hated what you've made me become. I felt overshadowed by you, and I made you. You were self-absorbed and unaware of how your actions have impacted yourself and others, but you didn't deserve what happened to you, and I'm sorry for constantly blaming you for the PTSD. You deserve compassion for everything you've been through. I recognize now that most of your behavior was a trauma response, and I'm sorry you felt so alone. I'm sorry I wasn't more supportive. Because of you, I've found really cool people who are like my family now. They are all so awesome and I love them so much, and they would have never found me if it weren't for you. Because of you, I became a better person. I'm not going to get rid of you, but I'll definitely use the experience to push myself to grow, and I would have never been able to do that without you. Thank you for pushing through, even when you didn't believe you could. Thank you for everything. Oh wow, it seems like you're at the end. There are no more parts to giving up. So I guess I have to ask you. Do you give up? Have you successfully given up on everything I told you to give up on? Because if you have, you will feel solace.
Stuck. Online living. Acknowledge. Compassion. The ego.
For the illiterate native English speakers that failed their own language at school, solace is to provide relief to someone who is feeling sad or worried. It basically means to comfort. Look at you learning a new word today! In this case, you're giving yourself the solace you deserve. Aww, you need to start being there for yourself even at your lowest moments. You have to be the one to give yourself the most comfort during tough times, and that's really hard to do if you don't love yourself. When you give solace or comfort to someone, it's because you love that person. You wouldn't give solace to someone you hate. In my opinion, solace is an act of love. I don't look down my past self anymore. I don't look at my situation negatively anymore. I see who I used to be and give her nothing but love. I see who I am now and give her nothing but love. And I'm excited to see who I'm going to love in the future. When you give up, you find out very quickly that the best version of yourself is not the only version that deserves love. This video means the world to me, dog. Because I never thought I would come back, but look at me, I persevered. When I gave up and stopped wanting anything, I got everything. Gay! But true. And because I did give up on trying and started to focus more on doing, I can officially say that I'm my own solace. Trauma is like a scar. You'll see it forever, and when you do see it, you'll be reminded on how you got it, but there is no need to keep opening up that wound. I was forced to redo this entire video, and I am so glad because I don't feel the same way I used to feel about everything I've been through. When you give up being stuck. You give up wanting validation. You give up being complacent in your life. You give up the victimhood mentality. You give up self-hatred. You give up anything that stops you from your successes. But most importantly, you give up believing that you deserve to live a shitty life forever. If you fail from the choices you made, no, you didn't. You succeeded. That's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to make that mistake. Congratulations, you just gained wisdom. And you know what? I'm happy I did everything wrong. Imagine I did everything right and became what everyone deemed as successful. I'm sorry, but yawn! Boring! Thank God I did everything wrong. I've lived my life, and that doesn't make me a failure. I'm successful because of my failures. I can visit the afterworld today and be happy because I did the most I could do with what I was offered. How can I be mad at myself? I look forward to an even better version of myself. And if you're shallow like me, just know the moment you start to put in the work to heal, you get better looking. Sorry. Anyways, don't get me wrong. I'm not a robot. I still feel negative emotions heavily. Some days I don't feel real, and other days I don't want to exist, but I persist. Bars. Even the days I start acting like the perceived versions of what people want me to be, I can confidently say, no, I'm the real thing. And I will continue to give myself solace. I must ask you a question, but I'll shave it for later. Do something nice, y'all.